Hi, welcome to Alchemy Tarot. I'm Danielle and I am your tarot reader for today. So I am a very small account, as you can see. So any interactions with this video, liking it, subscribing, or just any kind of clicks on my profile is so impactful for me. So I just want to extend out my gratitude for you for being here today. Let's get into the message today. I am focusing on what people admire about you. And because you are here, I am already getting the sense that you are just an angel yourself. So I know that whichever pile you pick today, there's going to be some beautiful messages that come through. So let's get into the piles that you get to select for today. I have my vintage 1970s Aquarian Tarot with the flat stone selenite on top. For my second pile, I have the Smith-Waite's traditional tarot topped with the orange calcite. And last but not least, I have my light Seers tarot topped with the pink calcite crystal. So go ahead, focus on which crystal you feel most drawn to, maybe even the cards. And you might even possibly have multiple messages. So if you're drawn to more than one, go ahead and click into the timestamps below and start with the one that you feel most drawn to and then follow with the second one. So anyways, without a further ado, let's get into your message. All right, friends, click in those timestamps and I'll see you there. Bye. Hi, my pile number ones. So you chose the flatstone selenite with my vintage Aquarian Tarot. So let me go ahead and get into the message because it's become abundantly clear. Just to preface, I do want to say that in my introduction video, I had mentioned, that there's gotta be some really good qualities about you where you're an angel. And that is so abundantly clear here. There are people in your life who truly, truly, truly just love you. I'm not picking up necessarily energy of a male or female in this. It's purely your soul. Your spirit guides want to talk about your soul, and what people love about your soul. It's not necessarily a situation where we're talking about, oh, people love you because you're always so, like, you know, you have beautiful hair or you have a great body or anything like that. No, we are strictly here to talk about how beautiful and bright your soul is. People love being around you. It's an energy that you have. It's almost like an energy field that you have around yourself, that you've created, that people are really, really, really drawn to. Anything that you do, anything that you set your mind to, you always make sure that you lead with love. And it's almost like you have a relationship with God, and you have a relationship of anything that you do, you want to do in God's eyes, you want to do in love. And I'm really trying my best not to be emotional, but it is so lovely and beautiful to know that someone like you exists in this world. You have built a very beautiful family, a very, very beautiful family. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little choked up, I'm getting a little teary-eyed, but it's almost like your spirit guides want you to recognize how much work you've done. You have had a past where you didn't have the best maybe upbringing, for those of you. For some of you, it's that maybe you did have a decent upbringing, but now you kind of went through a rough patch, and now you're finding yourself trying to bring yourself back. But whatever you had to do, it took a lot of work. You followed your intuition, you followed your guides, and you have built such a beautiful family. And it might not be that you actually have a family in like a tangible family, I guess, of like a wife, a husband, children, or anything like that. It might not necessarily be like that, but there are definitely chosen families that have stuck by you, and you've created this environment for yourself. You have definitely come from a very hard time. And you've had resilience to push through it. And it's almost like you had intuition. You had something telling you, something pulling you, a heart pull that was telling you there's going to be better times. There's going to be better times. Right now is not it. It's not it. But you had this desire, this feeling, this magnetic pull that something beautiful was going to come for you, and you stuck by it, and you decided to get rid of anything negative in your life. You did the shadow work, and you pushed forward, and you are now reaping the seeds that you sowed. You are someone who was driven, something that was really admirable, and I'm really getting this from your spirit guides, but really just anybody that you come in contact with, people can see this, but in order for you to push forward, you definitely did your research, you did hard work, and you made sure that you were protected and armored during this entire time. And it's just so beautiful, and I'm so sorry that I'm getting very emotional, but there's no negative, nothing negative here. You are truly somebody who is doing God's work with what you do, and you definitely are You are just so beautiful. And there is something very important that the people that you're involved with, they want you to know that something that they really, really admire is your drive. And it's whenever you put something, like when you put pen to paper, or you decide to do something that was a desire in your heart, it's like anything you touches to gold. And to obtain that type of attribute is it's not like many people get to have that. You truly, and I think it's really stemmed from your work ethic, but wherever you put your attention and focus on, you definitely, it's like whatever you decide to go towards, you make it turn to gold. You make something out of it. I mean, you're the person who can literally take a seed and grow a farm. You are someone who can take anything and just make it 10 billion times better than how you found it. And I'm sorry, I'm still crying. But your spirit guides have so much love for you, and they really just want you to know that you have nothing to fear. Whatever you have experienced in the past is no longer something that you need to fear, because you did the work and you pushed yourself further than your own limitations. And you are now someone who can do anything they set their minds to. You are someone who seeks wisdom. You seek truth wherever you are. And with that, that's what's been the guiding light to your success, and to the success that has yet to come. You are destined for greatness, and it has yet to come. This is only the beginning. And at some point, you will be able to reap even more success from your drive, and from your wisdom, and from the love that you put into others. That is just so, so incredibly beautiful. And I'm just so honored that your spirit guides have chosen me to receive and deliver that message. So I do want to go into the Woodland's Warden's cards to get some more information, and then go into the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So let's go ahead and get into that. Wow, that was beautiful. Okay, Spirit, can I please have a card that can help my pile number ones to know what people admire about them? Okay, one last shuffle. Let's get those cards, or card. Okay. Spirit, can you pull a card for me to help with my friends who chose pile number one, to help them understand what people love and admire about them for? What attributes, what archetypes, what characteristics do people really love about my friends who chose pile number one? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see a couple. I'm going to take, it was quite a bit. There's a lot of cards here. But I have the lizard and the pitcher plant. And I have the eel and the iris. So just intuitively, what I'm picking up on the lizard, I know that there's quite a bit of, or not quite a bit, there's you know, the idea of a lizard, you know how they can like cut off their tail and then regenerate a new one? It's kind of like that. It's like, there's a couple messages with that. It's like, if you ever are in a situation where you feel like things didn't go to plan, a new plan can always regenerate and come forth, and it might even be better than the one before. So if you ever feel that way, that's just one message there. But it's also just in terms of like your characteristics and your attributes. You are someone who is able to handle those types of situations. When things don't go according to plan, you have like plan B, C, and D already lined up. So people love that about you. They love that. And it's almost like a carefree kind of energy of like, okay, well, that didn't work. You know what? We tried it and it didn't work. Let's keep going forward, you know? So that's what I'm getting out of the lizard and the picture plan. And then I have the eel and the iris, safety. So you have definitely been someone who's escaped difficult situations. You are someone who has been in situations where they were dangerous. In terms of just actual physical danger, you have been someone who slipped by. And it's been by the grace of God. It's been by the grace of your angels and your spirit guides who have helped aid in those situations, if that resonates. But you are divinely protected and you have escaped those situations. But those, I've got to say, like, not a lot of people can have that kind of protection. It's truly telling of like who you are, your karmic cycles, and everything that you've done to gain that protection. You have done a lot to gain that protection. So that really rings true to who you are. And it's like the universe has your back because you have done so much for others in this universe. And also, if you haven't been in physical danger before, it's also shining a light on the excuse me, the negative forces in your life who were emotionally or physically abusive. So you have definitely listened to your guides, listened to your intuition, and got to safety. And now you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's really interesting. Let's move into the Queens of the Moon Oracle and see what they have to say here. Okay. Spirit, can I please have a card to help understand what my friends of pile number 1, what people admire about them? Oh, fruition. Yeah, so this is definitely going into what I was saying earlier. You definitely have the willpower, you have the drive, you have the knowledge, you have the intuition to follow guidance and take a seed and really make something out of it. You are someone who can touch anything and turn it to gold. And honestly, quite frankly, you are somebody that not many people would suspect that you have that attribute. So when they do meet you, they're like, whoa, like you are not what I was expecting. I was not expecting that at all. So that's something that they really like. When you come into contact with people, they're like, whoa, you've gone through so much. You've done so much. How are you this way? You know, maybe you're just a freak of nature. Like some people who can't really understand like all of the things that you've done, like all all the hard things that you've gone through, they just like, what a freak of nature, you know? And it's like, no, I'm not a freak of nature. I've just done so much. I've had so much time to go through these experiences, and I've learned through them. And now you are someone that can speak from wisdom. You can speak through experience. And some people might be jealous of that. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, you have so much protection and you have self-confidence in yourself. And if you don't, like, you should have some confidence and to know that these people don't quite possess the same attributes that you do because, quite frankly, they didn't put in the work. You did. And so if they want to desire if they have the desire to be like you, they'll have to put work in themselves and find out for themselves. But you definitely took some lessons, and you definitely learned from them. So the second card that kind of came out was the action card. So I'm not quite familiar with this one, so I'm going to use the book to get some guidance. Time has come to take action. Let go of your paralysis. Let go of your burdens step by step. I am responsive and ready to take action. Sometimes we are afraid to move forward. This is natural. Change can be difficult, and if we have been hurt or have failed before, we are anxious about what may happen if we instigate change. Maybe we think it's easier and safer to just tread some water for a while. Instead of taking joyful action towards the things we truly desire, such as writing a book, undertaking study, accepting a new job, or seeking a better relationship, we balk, we freeze, and we don't take the steps we could. So we remain stagnant. We don't grow. This moon phase encourages us to embrace action. Action is part of our humanity. We are not made to hide and refuse to blossom. That is beautiful. To this, I think it's more of advice, but I think what they're trying to say is you have always been somebody who's taken difficult challenges and has made some beautiful things, but they want you to be mindful of those old patterns and how they can sometimes submerge from below and still hold us back. So remember that you've been here before, and some beautiful things have come out of it. So if anything is scaring you, if you are not wanting to do something in your life, in any area of your life, be it finding a new job, searching for someone that you may love, or going back to school, whatever it may be, something that has really scared you, they want to remind you that you've been here before, and you will just be treading water if you don't decide to take action. And it's time for you to allow yourself to blossom and bloom to even bigger and greater levels than before. So that was just absolutely incredible. This reading touched my soul, and I am so honored that you were here to receive it. So please let me know if this resonated. If it did, leave me a comment, give me a like, and if you don't follow my channel, please go ahead, click the follow button, because I will be doing more readings like this in the future. So all right, I'll see you in the next week. I love you, friends. Bye. Hi, my pile number twos. You chose the orange calcite, and I am excited to give you your message. So, I want to start off by saying that if you've been following me for some time, you know by now that I really struggle with getting cards to kind of fly out. And that was not the case here. It was like pop, plop, 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 plop. You might want to check out the shuffling to see like how quickly I got these cards. So whoever is guiding you is definitely eager for you to understand this. So right off the bat, let's get into the Hanged Man that I see here. For the Hanged Man, for me, it's someone who can really see a full perspective of something. So I feel that people really, really like how grounded you are in your stances. You are someone who can see all sides of a scenario. You can weigh the options. It wouldn't surprise me if you were a lawyer yourself, or you were in some kind of judicial system, like you work for the judicial system. If you work as somebody in legal, it would not surprise me. But if that does not resonate, there's definitely something about you where people really love how committed you are to seeing all sides of a scenario and sticking by what you feel is truly what's best. And I have to say, you have something that a lot of people really desire. So if it's your conviction, that is something that people really actually desire about you. It's almost like you wave your freak flag, like it's whatever, you don't care. You don't care about what people think about you. You know what you like and you stay by it. And I think a lot of people are really, really they don't like your conviction. So I know we're supposed to talk about admiration, but there's like some people out there like in your world right now that don't like how convicted you are. And it's possibly because people know how you are. Like they know that, I don't know, if they say like Jessica, like if Jessica says no, like there was good reason why Jessica said no. Or Eric said yes, well, there was good reason why Eric said yes. It's because everybody knows that you weigh all the options. Everybody knows that you do your research. Everybody knows that you are very level-headed. So that is something that everybody really admires about you. But for those people who you've made a past judgment on, because you are so level-headed and you really thoroughly thought through something on someone, if they are in the crossfires of that, if you're like, no, I don't like this person, then yeah, they're marked, so there are some people out there that don't really necessarily like that. They don't want to stay on your bad side because they know that the minute they receive your disapproval or your approval, it's there to stay. And I think a lot of people really admire that about you. They know that you are someone. I'm thinking of like Oprah. You know how when Oprah does like her Oprah book club, and the minute you put like an Oprah sticker on there, like it's everybody subscribes to it. And so that's kind of how you are in your environment. People, like the minute that they give your seal of approval or disapproval, they go by it. And it's very interesting how there are people that are very envious of that fact. So there's a little bit going on here. One, they're trying to say that they like continue to do that because, if you're convicted in something, then I don't know how to describe it, but just basically it takes a lot of people to stand by what they want, right? there are some people that can change by the day. They really, like, their opinion can change in any direction the wind is blowing, and you're not like that. So people love that about you. But also to be careful of these people that you could possibly mark as like you give a mark of disapproval for these people. These people would be willing to make it seem like you are not trustworthy. So that is one message that's coming through. And I know I was supposed to focus on really like what people admire about you, because there definitely is a lot here that people admire about you. But that is one message that your spirit guides have kind of come through of saying, hey, be careful. Just try your best not to stir the pot. Okay, they're saying don't stir the pot, and they're also saying be careful of like who you are interacting with. Be careful with who you talk to as well, because there are people out here who are willing to kind of rip your reputation away, or at least discredit you, because you have a lot of things that people would be jealous of. And I can't help but think of the popes. Back in the Middle Ages, when popes or religious figures or people of authority were to speak, their command was to do this. And then once everybody saw this, they were to silence. And then these people were basically allowed to speak to the masses, and they had the attention of everybody. So you definitely have that quality. You definitely have a voice that could reach thousands of people. You definitely have educated yourself enough to be heard. So like you probably went to school, you've done so much research, you make sure that when you speak from knowledge. So a lot of people would listen to your advice, but there are people out there who would who are envious of that. And it's interesting to me how in the Ten of Swords has symbolism of that same, and I'm not sure if my phone will pick it up, but if you see the hand, you see how he's dead, and he's got all of these swords in his back, so he's been backstabbed, and he has that symbol that I was telling you about, where he is holding this symbol, and those symbols are only to be given or used by religious people of authority. So in that case, it is interesting how you have mortar and then you have that symbol there. So that was a big message here of just know that you have a lot of power behind your voice, and it is to be used. But in order to protect your voice, make sure you are watching out for those that are willing to take you down. Now, the beauty of you is that you are supported by a lot of people. A lot of people really love you. A lot of people love to listen to you. You are the person who's calling the shots. You are someone who can make the decisions, because everybody knows that you are someone who can yield results. But there are times where you get very anxious, and there might be times where you feel defeated. Know that there are people out there that are willing to take you down. But the good side of this is that you're insanely protected. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. So because you keep your side of the street clean, because you do things with good intentions in your heart, everybody knows that, everybody can see that, it's not going to really affect you too much. These people that are in your life that are willing to take you down, it's honestly, it's almost like, if I could describe it, it's like seeing an ant on a sidewalk, but you're a human. It's like you could quickly squish this person. So just be mindful of the ants and make sure that you squash it. And I think it's more of like a warning of just like, hey, there's going to be some nuisances in your life of these certain people. Just be more aware to it, because you have a much bigger purpose. People really, really trust you. People really, really need your guidance, but there might be some people that kind of try to take you down. And honestly, if you have to think of them as any certain way, think of them as little ants on the ground, and you are just a human being walking like careless. And if these ants are underneath your feet, then so be it, So yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. You are somebody who, what I'm picking up is that you are someone who's very competitive. You have a lot of qualities that people would find as a competition. People, if they were to see your name on a roster, they'd be like, oh no, Allison Graham is here. Like, Allison, Allison is like the best. Like, I don't even stand a chance. That's how it is. These people are like, when they see your name pop up, they're like, oh no, I don't stand a chance. So live with that confidence. People are so confident in your abilities that you don't have to worry about these little measly little people that don't even matter. They have to go through their own experiences, their own life journey to get to where you are. You've already done all the work. You've mastered it. If they want what you have, they're going to have to learn on their own. They can't take you down with them. So yes, people really, really, really respect your point of view. That is for sure. And you probably have done so much work and they just trust you. You've gained a lot of respect in your environment. Wow. People really trust you. It's almost like Jesus. You know how Jesus had Judas? It's that same way of knowing that you have all of these beautiful qualities. You are someone that people seek guidance from because you've done so much work, but there are always going to be some people that turn out being Judases. So be mindful of that. Okay. So let's see what else, what other cards should come out today. Ooh. Oh, okay, perfect. I got a card. I got the moth and the eucalyptus. So I'm going to actually rely on my book, the book that it came with. Okay, the moth and the eucalyptus. So that's 13, death. Oh, went too far. There we go. The moth and eucalyptus is a number 13 for a reason. It mirrors the meaning of the death card in a traditional tarot deck. The death card rarely indicates literal death, but rather marks an ending of some kind and provides us the knowledge and power to let go. The moth shown here is the death head hawk moth, named for the unique skull-like marking on its back. The death heads is nocturnal, and like all moths, it flies towards the light. Eucalyptus is a symbol of protection, as the oil from the plant can be used to guard against and soothe a variety of ailments. So yeah, I'm getting the sense that people are really drawn to you, but to remember that eucalyptus in this card is a symbol of protection. So making sure that you protect yourself because you are a light that people are very drawn to. So that might mean to quite literally protect yourself from people but then also dark energies that live amongst us, because you have such a beautiful light that people are really drawn to. So let's go ahead and go into the Queen of the Moon Oracle cards to see what else is wanting to come out. Okay, one more shuffle. Darkness, Lone Night Moon, number 40. So let's go ahead and see what comes out for number 40. Looks like it's the last card. Oh no, close to the last card. Darkness, you're entering a time of introversion, a leaner time, or a time to turn inward, to plan and strategize. It is time to do shadow work, which will bring big dividends later on. Release what no longer works for you. One of the earliest human fears is to be a fear of the dark. We fear what we can't see, and we fear what may be hiding. In reality, the dark is as important as the light. In nature, there are many nocturnal animals that go about the business of living under the moon, not the sun. The darker times of the lunar and seasonal cycles signal a time of naturally turning inward to stay close to home, to look closely at ourselves, and to plan for the light. In the northern hemisphere, the long night moon usually occurs in December around the winter solstice. This is when the nights are needed long and the hours are sunshine short. It's cold and people would begin to be snowed in. It is during these long nights we begin to do our shadow work, undertaking the self-reflection needed to identify what is working for us and what might be causing us pain. This could be a bad habit, a destructive pattern, a reoccurring useless fear, or anything that holds us back from being the best we can be. Once we see these aspects of ourselves in the dark, we can simply decide whether they must go. We can decide to release them once and for all. We get to transform. So there's definitely something to be said about this devil here too. So if there is any kind of negative attributes that you possess in terms of like this anxiety that you're feeling, there's definitely a message of releasing that, because it's only going to hold you back into this cycle of being backstabbed again. So I'm thinking it's more related to self-love and self-confidence that you really need to let go of in order to live a life without rejection. I'm getting so if you've ever been rejected before in terms of like work, in terms of a love life, there is a lot of competition out there. And what is one key that they want you to know to avoid these rejections in the future is to have self-confidence, to remember that you are someone who like people really, really admire. So if you ever have anxiety of like, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I'm here to tell you that people really do actually listen to you. People really do value your input. But if you ever feel like people don't value that, that's going to be your Achilles heel. That's what's going to take you down. I actually think you are your own worst enemy in this case. So it's a matter of just having self-confidence and knowing that you are someone who people value. And then from going on with that, you will not have as many issues in terms of rejection. You are your own worst enemy is what they're saying. So you don't necessarily have enemies. You might have a couple people in your past who have been very jealous, who have tried their best to take you down. But I think your own worst enemy is yourself in this situation. They're reminding you that there are much more people who really admire you and want to hear your point of view and want to like, they really value your opinion. But where you really hurt yourself, where you have your Achilles heel, is when you doubt yourself. So there's that. I'm going to leave you with that. It's very heavy, but they're definitely wanting to shine a light on that so that way it can keep you from holding yourself back to your fullest potential. But know that people really, really value you, and you are the equivalent of Oprah's approval. So once you have that confidence and know that people really, 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 really value you, then you will be able to have that confidence in yourself, and you will be able to overcome any challenges that come your way. All right, friends, let me know if this resonated. Leave me a comment, give me a like, and I will see you in next week's video. All right, friends, I love you. Bye. Hi, pile number 3s. You chose the pink calcite, and welcome to your message. So there's been some very, very apparent, or not apparent, but there's been a lot of signs that right off the bat, what people really, really, really admire about you is that you are very balanced in every aspect of your life. So when it comes to kind of how you act towards people, you are making sure that you're very balanced in your perspective of people. So you always weigh out the options, or weigh out what you've seen and what you've heard in your actual personal experiences. When you meet people, you always make sure that you get to to get a taste of people before you pass judgment of these people. So you're very balanced in that aspect. You are also very balanced in the way, in how you handle your spirituality and your earthly self. So you are someone who can definitely always be in between worlds. You are someone who's very intuitive themselves, someone who definitely possesses a really profound intuition. You are, it almost seems like you have a really good aura that people are really drawn to. And that's mostly because you are very attuned to how this world works. People go to you seeking advice of how this world works, and you have the answers, or at least you can intuitively pick up on some feedback to give to them. But that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't worked really hard on your intuition, your spirituality, and also your experiences here as a human, and tying them back together. You are definitely balanced in terms of your work. So you definitely have a work-life balance that people would envy. So you are kind of really, or not kind of, but you are really skilled in your work life. So, and it might not be necessarily work. Maybe you maybe you are a student right now yourself, but people really like your work ethic when it comes to studying. They like your work ethic when it comes to assignments if you are a student, but you, like, when you are assigned something, you produced quality, and people can't quite understand how you can get there, like how you like if you're doing like an Excel spreadsheet and they're trying to do, I don't know, there's some financing that, like, nobody really goes to anybody else but you are definitely the person that they go to, because they know that you are going to produce something of quality. And it seems like magic to the point where it's like, it feels like magic, that the quality of work that you're providing people, it's like, whoa, like, I didn't even know this was possible. And that's why people go to you. And it almost seems like you do work, you do life, and it's like you could do it in your sleep. You make success seem so effortless. So you might not actually be very successful in terms of like income or title at this point, but you have things around you. You have family, or you have things, like you embody this successful energy that people are like, man, whatever they set their minds to, they could do it effortlessly in their sleep. And it's because you are naturally very powerful manifester. So anything that you've set your mind to, I'm sure you've gotten because you've manifested it. So you've put in the work and you've also manifested. It's almost like you've figured out how this universe works. If you're more grateful, if you put in the work and you are confident in what your ability or what you're capable of doing in the future, you are able to manifest what you desire. So people really love that quality about you, that you are a very, very powerful manifester. People envy this attribute and characteristics that you possess, because not a whole lot of people know how to manifest and how to manifest properly for fast results. So you definitely have tapped into that, and it seems like you are on the precipice of creating a very abundant life for yourself, and people really are envious of that. And they do, for those of the people that are in your life that have good energy, they take notes from you, and they're like, okay, this is how she said to do this. This is she gave me some advice on this day. So you are definitely someone who people really admire in terms of like how to be successful and how to achieve things. You are able to take something from like step 1 and like come up with 10 more steps. Your approach is really to be collaborative. So you also recognize who like, you're a resourceful person. You know who could really help you in situations. You're not someone who's just going to sit around and twiddle your thumbs. You are like, okay, well, I've got a plan. I've been assigned something and I need to get it done. I need to achieve something. How do I get it done? Oh, okay. Well, I know that Brian is really good in IT. I can definitely get him to help me with this, and so on and so forth. You are that individual that can definitely be resourceful and get things done really quick. And people think, oh, well, that's manifestation. No, I mean, yes, it is a little bit, but they don't recognize that you're very resourceful. And you take that energy into your relationships in your work life or at school. Like, when people get to know you, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't realize how smart you were. I didn't realize how collaborative you were. Like, they don't, when they judge a book by its cover, they're so surprised when they get to know you. So that's really cool. And I think it's because you really do lead with your heart. You really do make sure that you lead with love and do everything in God's view. And that's why you've been so abundant. That's why you've been so successful, because you make sure that you do everything in God's eyes. You do things rooted in love and not fear. So that's why you have become so abundant. Or if you aren't necessarily, like, you don't feel like you have a whole lot of abundance right now, you will. And when I think of abundance, I think of like, things are just easier, you know. It's not necessarily like abundance in money, but it's like abundance in easy love, abundance and like easy commute, abundance in an easy life where you have food that you can like easily pay for. So it's like this abundance energy that you have. It's because it comes effortlessly, and people are like, man, like, if I just follow their footsteps, like, I too can become abundant like this person. And I don't know, there's a couple messages that are coming through with this, but I get the sense for those of you that there is love that's on the cuff. So there are people that are like, oh my gosh, this person is so amazing. I can't wait for them to meet their soulmate. I cannot wait for them to actually have a loved one that also like could bask in this kind of energy and really love them. Well, that kind of manifestation from our own friends and family members actually kind of help us too, and help us call in some true love. So that's definitely here for those of you who really resonate with that. But another story of that for maybe the other half of you guys is that if you are currently already in a relationship, it seems like you have abundance in that area too. People really respect your relationship that you have with your spouse. They think that you have a really healthy relationship. They think like, wow, if I could have any kind of relationship, I would have it just like this couple, meaning you and your loved one, your spouse, your partner. So that is something. It's like almost like people see your love and your relationship and they're like, wow, this is a storybook relationship. I would love to have that. And they know, I think the people in your life, for those of you who really resonate with this, they know that it's well deserved. And that's the difference. They know that you deserve love. And again, it's really rooted in the love that you give to others. So it fills their cup knowing that you are getting your cup filled as well. So it's really beautiful. People really admire your perspective. People really admire your spirituality. People really admire your work ethic and how effortless it seems that you are able to manifest an abundant, easy life. So if it sounds like you have a very fantastic life right now, but it seems like it's only going to just get better for you. So yeah, let's go ahead and go into the Woodland Warden's cards to see what else is to come out for you. Spirit, what are some other things that my pile number 3 needs to know of what other people admire about them? Okay. May I please have a card? Spirit, may I please have a card? Okay. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, let's see. The Bear and Cedar, leadership. Oh, that's really good. I think intuitively, like, you are someone who could be a teacher to others. So people really admire the work that you've done. So they're going to follow your lead. The Bear and Cedar calls us to be powerful but benevolent, embodying the qualities of a great leader. Bears are emperors of the woodland and guardians of the forest. Paired with cedar, a plant known for its healing, protective, and cleansing qualities, this card invites us into mature authority. The spirit of the bear is guiding you to leadership opportunities and reminding you to rule with fairness and care. Yeah, so you might actually be in a high position in your current job, or you're going to be, but they're definitely saying, like, with your perspective, with your care, with your guidance, and with all of the work ethic that you have, you are destined for greatness. You are destined for leadership, and people have no doubt that you would do a fantastic job because they see that quality within yourself. They see that you are someone who is deserving of making spearheading things, or really leading the pack. Okay, let's see what comes out of this Queen of the Moon Oracle. Ooh, sorry, it was a weird shuffle. Okay, let's see. Resistance. Ooh, interesting. So I'm going to rely on the book for this one as well. Let's see. Resistance. I see how there's trees in the hand. So, like, as you work and as you do, as you work more and as you put more seeds into the ground, you're able, with your hand involved, it's got the grounds to be stable and really be able to withstand some really challenging times. Think of like a tree and how it needs to be shaken and to grow more stable. So maybe that's something that people have seen about you. You have had some unstable situations, but you've stayed rooted and you have continued to stay resilient, and because of that you have become stronger and more of a leader in people's eyes. But let's see this. Let's see what it says. Familiarize yourself with how resilient manifests for you. The overt and the covert. If you continue to have doors slammed in your face, turn around. There will normally be an open door. Procrastination is just another kind of fear. Move forward with confidence and persistence. I flow through resistance and I am in control. There are two kinds of resistance. The first type we encounter when we keep obstacles placed in our way or our way is blocked. For example, we try to get a particular job in a particular field, but no matter what we do, it doesn't happen. This is external or overt resistance. Covert resistance, which occurs when we really want to do or complete something but feel resistance not to, is somewhat sneakier. All forms of procrastination fits in here. Writer's block being a classic example. When we want to do something, we get distracted and don't do it, or we can't seem to engage our will enough. That is covert resistance. When we want to get rid of a bad habit, an addiction, an old pattern, in fact, anything we're thinking of releasing for the dark moon, feel resistance in doing so, we have a big dose of covert resistance. So this kind of goes a little bit longer and longer, but I think there's just a slight message here of remembering that if there is any kind of procrastination anywhere in your life right now, that to be mindful that you are someone who is leadership quality. You are someone who is valued. So if there's anywhere in your life where you feel like you are not worthy, it's like you are your own worst enemy. So I definitely feel a similar message was given in pile number 2. So if you feel this way, if that really resonates, you have some extra messages in pile 2. So I would definitely go into the timestamps and visit me there. But I think bottom of the line here is to remember that you have all of these qualities, you possess all of these qualities to be abundant, and a lot of people really value you. So with that, don't be your own worst enemy. Don't be your own Achilles heel. Definitely be confident in your abilities, and from there you'll be able to manifest and have more abundance come in, because people really do admire you for what you do, your work ethic, your spirituality, how balanced you are in your perspectives of things, and how you really are rooted in true good work ethic, that nothing else, like everything could come to you so easily. So yeah, that's really important for you to know. I definitely want you to listen to pile number 2, because there's more messages for you there. But I do hope that this was helpful for you. If it was, please leave me a comment, a like, or just follow, because I will definitely have more videos for next week. Okay, friends, I'll see you next Monday. Bye.